Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Friday Tech Systems and Processes. Today's going to be just a little bit different because we're going to start on 24 Hour Champion, written by Darshan Shanti, a good friend of mine for the last, I don't know, geez, let's see, 7 years. Met you in 2017, I want to say, right around there. When
Something like that. Yeah, I'm 8 years.
Yeah, we were in a network marketing um business group together, if you will, trying to help each other, grow our businesses. And at the time, Julia and I were partners with some of the restaurant owner, Tony Puna, and we had a restaurant there in Albuquerque, and that's where I met Darshan was through that group. So, and then as it would happen, like anything happens in New Mexico, everyone knows everyone, right? And we ran in a lot of the same circles, and we just quickly learned that we had a lot of similar connections. So, Darshan, would you mind giving yourself an introduction to the team and what made you write this book?
Well, thank you. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to meet you guys, Chuck and Joseph, and whoever listens to this on recording. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. A lot of people want to know about my name, first of all, because nobody's heard Darshan Shanti. It's a name I picked about 20 years ago. Darshan in Hebrew means teacher, Shanti in Hindi means peace. And so I literally changed my name and legally. So Darshan Shanti is my name. Teacher of Peace is my game. God put me here to do a few things to make people be happier, feel better, and have fun, and to help them to live the best lives they can live, to help them truly reach and live their fullest potential. And I've done that through workshops and seminars and books. I've written two personal development books, over 2,000 inspirational poems, given over 1,100 talks, worked with over 30,000 people from every age group. Literally, I did a lot of work in schools from kindergarten up and out of school, of course, to people in their 80s. So my whole life is about helping people be the best they can be. And we were talking, and Michael said, "Hey, why don't you come on, be the book of the month and help us out?" And I said, "Sure, I'm honored to, and that's why I'm here." So I have a lot of experience working with a lot of people, and my time is yours to help you have the best experience you can have, both on Michael's team and off in your own personal life.
Appreciate that, Darshan. I know this is the revised and updated version, but what led you to write this?
Well, so I had been doing leadership seminars and workshops for years and years and years, and then said, you know what? I don't have a book. Why don't I put the book together? And then it'll be the introduction to the work I do. Because if people like the book and then just, they want the help, in other words, one on one or in a small group setting from me, then the book was a wonderful introduction and a great way for them to get their life going. So every professional speaker, coach, whatever, should have a book. And this isn't just a book. If you haven't looked through it yet, every single chapter, including the introduction, has a whole bunch of questions to help you figure out your own life. Because if you don't figure out your life, I don't have the answers for you because I don't know you. But I do have the questions to help you figure out your own answers. And the title, the 24-hour champion. Look, everybody can be a champion. It doesn't really even have to take 24 hours. That's just being a champion 24 hours a day, being the best you can be. You can be a champion in 24 minutes, 24 seconds, hell, 2.4 seconds. You can simply make a decision to change your life. Because once you change your life, I mean, change your mind about who you are and about what you want, both now and in the future, your change is permanent. And so you are a 24-hour champion. And when you own that, now literally things begin to change. Like, what if you started looking at yourself saying, I am a champion, instead of I am not good enough, I am not smart enough, I am whatever. Start looking at the truth of who you are, that You are amazing, awesome, incredible, fabulous, terrific, tremendous, and so on and so forth. When you own that, watch what begins to happen.
Absolutely. One of the things that I learned from this too was that when I went through this book was that I didn't necessarily want to be a top producer. You know, I am a top producer. I'm a great producer, right? I love insurance and I love helping people with it. But what I learned through the process is that I wanted to help other people win here as well. And that was something that came out of this book a little bit more, right? And I mean, there's some great people that have reviewed your book, Darshan, right? Um, and I didn't realize that Dr. Joe Vitale, who was in The Secret, was, one of the reviewers of your book. And hey guys, if you guys haven't watched The Secret or read anything about it, I highly recommend that you do that as well because it involves us taking ownership of our life and realizing that, all these things that are out there, we attract them to ourselves. And when we attract it through the use of our mind, right? The way we change the way that we think. So, Darshan, what can these guys expect out of the first two chapters?
Well, not just the first two chapters. The introduction alone is almost like a chapter because it has a really amazing, not only a bunch of questions, but a wonderful, wonderful survey called the Life Satisfaction Survey. And let me be clear, William and Chuck and Annie and Julie, if you have never gone through it, and Joseph, the Life Satisfaction Survey, a lot of people have a problem with it. And here's why they have a problem with it, because they don't quite get it. And here's why they don't get it, because it's a survey of not where you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, to where you are now. It's a survey of where you are now compared to where you really, really, really want to be in the future. So let's say Michael has a goal. I don't know, of having 20,000 people on his team and being the top producer on the company. Well, if he only has 300 people on his team now compared to 20,000, and if it's a scale of 1 to 10, well, then if he even gives himself a one, it's a lot. 300 compared to 20,000, 100,000, you get the idea. That's the whole point of the life satisfaction survey. So it's a sobering realization of where you are in your life right now as compared to where you really want to be. And then that will give you a foundation. And a lot of people are also, I want you to hear this clearly, they're afraid of that because they look at their lives and go, shoot, I've wasted a whole lot of time here. And I don't have as much time left as I had before. And the biological clock is ticking. So they're afraid to do that because then it puts the onus, it puts the responsibility square on them. If you can get through that and go, all right, I got a lot of work to do, and we're going to buckle down and we're going to do it with Michael's help, my help, any other help you can get, then you can live the dream life you want to live. You will attract the people like Michael was talking about from The Secret. You will attract the circumstances. Michael was one of those gifts to me, just as a quick shout out to Michael. Michael will probably laugh when I tell you this, when I tell you guys this. He already knows. I suck with technology. The technology gods and I do not get along. I don't get it. He does like I asked him, how did he get this Michael the Vigil Agency on his thing? Never even heard of what he did. I did it on my computer thinking it would be on my phone and it's not even there. So now I got to set up. So Michael has been a blessing to me with technology, with introducing me to things and people and concepts I've never even heard. It's just an example that when you're in alignment with who you really are and are doing what you're supposed to do, you will attract the right people, the right circumstances, the right opportunities, and it will be a whole hell of a lot easier than you trying to do it on your own. What Michael did with me in 5, 10, 15 minutes, I couldn't have done in weeks. I, and that's not an exaggeration. And the same thing will happen to you. Then in chapter one, so if we're only talking two chapters, Chapter one is about how you developed your identity. How did you get to be the Chuck, the Joseph, the William, the Annie, the Julia, the Michael you are right now? Where did it all come from? So, of course, it came from our childhood. And as children, we make decisions. And but the problem is our brains aren't developed yet, and we don't have the reasoning ability or the capacity to think in any way as we do as an adult. And so we make decisions to survive as a child. And unfortunately, those decisions get parked in our subconscious. And then those decisions run our lives, even as 50, 60, 70-year-old adults. What chapter one is about is seeing those decisions, seeing how you developed all of them, and then getting rid of them, seeing them for the lie they are, getting rid of them, and then changing them now into what you, as a conscious adult, wants to do, not as a 5-year-old child who's just trying to survive. So you'll go from survival to surthrival.
I appreciate that, Darshan. And I've told the story to everyone here, and you know it as well, right? I mean, the reason why I do cemetery is because of my circumstances growing up, right? I didn't want our children, so I didn't want Julie and I's kids to grow up in a household where their parents were never present, right? I didn't want them to have the same thoughts that I did growing up. And it's something that I work through every day, right? And having something to reference from and having a workbook to go through helps with that. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to do introduction in chapter one this week, right? And we'll discuss it on Monday. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll just do 2 chapters per week since we have 5 weeks in March. And the only week that we'll probably have to switch things up is going to be March 10th. We won't have Darshan on March 10th, but it might be something that we could either switch it by a day or two just to that way we have him each week and talk us through those different points that will help us, you know, absorb more of the book and understand the questions that are being asked. That way we can answer them properly, right? There's nothing worse than going through a book and you get how many times have you guys actually gone through a book and then you think back on it and you're like, what did I just read? Like, have you guys ever done that, Or you pick up a book and then the second time you read through it, you're like, why didn't I pick up on that the first time? Right. So, I mean, our circumstances change, our things, things happen in our life where a chapter may become more relevant the second time we go through it, or because someone pointed something out. So, Darshan,
And
anything
then,
else you'd like
Michael, I
to
may
add?
even put out it's not just the second time. It can be 10 years later. You can read the book and go, oh my God, was this even in the book 10 years ago? It was, it just you couldn't see it or hear it. It wasn't relevant to you. So it wasn't real for you. So it wasn't right for you. And then 10 years later, the time goes by and you go, oh my goodness gracious me, this is the best book ever. And so that's how it works with everybody.
Absolutely. Anything else you'd like to add, Darshan?
Yeah, look, as we go through this, this is about you guys and about what you want. It's not about me. I can ask you the questions to help you figure it out. And so we don't have to all be muted. This is an interactive dialogue because the more you interact, the braver you are, the more you step up, the more you're going to get out of this for your life. That's what's beautiful about it because it's you. I'm just here to facilitate that process a whole heck of a lot faster than if you were trying to do it on your own.
And on that point, does anyone have any questions for Darshan? I didn't imagine that a whole lot of people would, being that they haven't, gone through it yet. But if you guys do, make sure you have those questions answered. I mean, and you guys should all have his number because we're all put on a group text. You can always text him questions as you're going through it as well. Darshan is a wealth of knowledge, guys, and he will help us, get to the better version of ourselves and become 24-hour champions. So, Darshan, I appreciate your time this morning. I hope you're having a beautiful day out there in New Mexico on this last day of February. and looking forward to you participating with our team over the next 5 weeks.
It's going to be epic. William, can you hear me? Because I don't recall your name. Hi, William.
I can hear you, sir. And how's it going?
It's like a broken drum, just can't be beat.
All right, all right.
I don't believe you have a copy of the book.
No, sir. But I will be purchasing a copy as well.
I'll get it to you. If you want to text me your address, I'll send it to you as well.
Oh
So
yeah,
you
sure,
can
sure.
have it. Yeah, that would work. And do you have my number handy? Because I'll send it to you today.
It's right there
Oh,
on the screen as well, guys.
yeah. Can you see my name and number? That's my
Uh,
phone number.
yes, sir.
Uh,
All right. If everyone else doesn't have any, oh, Chuck, go ahead. I saw you unmuted.
Oh no, the only question I was going to ask is what started you completely on that journey? Like, how did you come to the realization that that's what you want to do? You may have said that.
okay. I love that question. Thank you. The answer is my life sucked. My life was horrible. Growing up in school, I was the kid in school that everyone knew and no one liked. I was the problem child. I was the misfit who didn't fit in with the misfits. I could sit at their lunch table, but I had to sit away from them. I was in every grade in trouble without going into all the details, literally every single grade. I mean, I will tell you this: in second grade, I was in the principal's office 2 weeks in a row. In second grade, it continued on through all of elementary, middle school, and high school. I went to 5 high schools, 4 years, 3 cities, 2 states, and there was only one me in common. Then I joined the military. I was a medic trained to save people's lives, and my own unit voted me most likely to be killed by them. So if we went to war, even though I was trained to save their lives, they figured they'd be better off with me dead than if I was alive. And that was when my life was like constantly picked on, abused, not liked, always bringing negativity to me in every single situation. No friends, no girlfriends, alone. And I finally just had to say, what the heck is going on here? Why is my life this bad? Why do I have so many problems? Why don't I have any friends? What's wrong with me? And I went on a never ending, I'm still learning, growth period for years, 5 years. I didn't even own a TV. I just read book after book after book and went to seminar after seminar after seminar and learned and grew. And then after so many years, I finally started saying, I think I got enough here. I said, if I've gone through this, then other people have gone through it or are going through it too. Maybe I can help them. And then I started putting talks together and then workshops together. And then the book came from that. And then my biggest workshop, which is 3 days one-on-one, came from that. And there's the whole process. Did that answer your question, Chuck?
That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, that did it.
Well, thank you. I'll leave you with this. I went from hating myself, which of course attracted people who didn't like me either, to loving and valuing and cherishing and honor and respecting myself and realizing the truth of who I am. How, and that's the whole point of my work. The whole foundation of my work is to help people realize their truth so that they can live their fullest potential.
And you guys will get to know him, like I said, over the next 5 weeks, right? Darshan will become someone that you guys will be able to reach out to. I guarantee that. He's just one of those people that has that personality that wants to see other people win. He wants to see other people successful. So, um, any parting words, Darshan?
No, just be happy. Other than be happy, feel good and have fun, because that's the very best way to get everything done.
He's the Be Happy poet if you didn't know it.
Yeah, there you go. This is how I show it. Yeah, I've written over 2,000 inspirational poems. and I do comedy as well, and I call myself the feel good poet and the feel good comic. So we'll laugh a lot, we'll be happier, we'll have a lot of fun, and together we'll all grow and have amazing, amazing lives. That's no, those are not empty words. Put the work in and watch what happens.
And there'll be a lot of bad jokes along the way. But
Thank
thank you, Darshan. I appreciate your time this morning.
you guys.
Hey,
It's good to
hey,
see
Mike.
you.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Before we
Yep.
get off the phone, so listen. So the Corvette was modeled after the Shark and the Stingray, and understanding that a Stingray is part of the shark family, they're kind of similar. It's called like the flat shark. Uh,
Oh,
that's why it's called the Stingray and the land shark. So it was modeled after those two. Um, that's where it comes from.
You see that? I told you we're all going to learn something, and I just learned something.
Only because I'm a car guy and I know that. That's the only reason why.
Ah, I just love that. I love certain cars, and that one just does it for me. I can't explain it.
It's the only
So
car that
thank
matters on
you.
the planet to me.
What'd you say,
It's the only
Joseph?
car that matters on the only car that matters on the planet to me. It
Which
stands by
one?
itself. The Corvette. It stands by itself.
Oh, see there you go.
Yeah.
I love it. And the brand new ones for 120,000, you get more bang for the buck than you do
Oh,
a
you could spend
Lambo.
200. Oh, you could spend 200 on the
Yeah,
ZR1. Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All
let's
right.
have a
Thanks,
lot of
Darshan.
fun, guys. Thank you very much.
thank you,
Thank you.
Darshan.
All
Okay.
right. Bye bye.